Hello everyone, Lawrence here. Oh, my lips are dry. Ouch. Stupid winter. Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews. Today we're having a look at the Ducky One, 2, SF meaning 65 because this is a 65% keyboard layout. I only just noticed that they actually put the art for the arrow keys and 3 extra navigation buttons on the box. I did not know that. The reason for that is because this is basically a 60% keyboard with your arrow keys and 3 navigation buttons. How awesome! So let's bring the camera in and give you a very close-up view of this keyboard. Alright, so this is the packaging for the Ducky One 2 SF. I'm not going to do an unboxing or any of that, but I just wanted to show you guys the box so when you pick one up in the store, you know what it looks like. Ducky works almost exclusively with Cherry for their keyboards. I have the MX Blues in here because they're the only decent Cherry switch, but there's also a HyperX version available. Now, on the back, nothing really important, just the size and the weight and the fact that it comes with USB. And then on one of the sides, right here, you can see that I have a full white model with, of course, blue RGB Cherry switches. Keyboard itself, right here already, and my camera is flickering like crazy on these lights. Extras in the box, by the way, because some of you will want to know, is a useless enter key. But luckily you also get an actual usable enter key and you get some more color accent keys. Now, as I'll quickly demonstrate by ripping out my escape key, there we go. I could have also used the included keycap puller, but I mean, come on, who does that? Where is my escape key? There we go. As you can see, the white keys, these are double shots, backlit. I think they're ABS. They could also be PBT because it's very confusing on their website and I really don't know the difference. Yeah, double shot ABS, but then these are laser etched PBT and the light doesn't shine through properly on these, but it does on these, which is why I don't really use the accent colors. You also get a Year of the Pig spacebar if that's something you're into, but as you may expect from someone who goes with a full white keyboard, I'm not really in it for fancy colors. All I really want is the lighting and just a nice clean white keyboard to go with my full white desk. So if I want to get rid of all these RGB things, I press Alt FN and then just cycle through with the T button until I find a lighting preset, or I could just add my own lights. And basically if I max out to level 10 on all of these, we'll get something that represents white light. Let's go with pink. That is just my feminine side shining through a little bit. It also comes with a manual, which is also available online. So if you want to go through, 20 pages of instructions on how to do stuff with this keyboard, it's all in this manual. Now, the manual and the fact that this keyboard doesn't come with any software is both its greatest strength and its greatest weakness. You don't need any software. Everything is done on the keyboard itself. It's programmed straight into the keyboard. So if you take it from your one PC, move it to your other PC, any PC in the world really, no matter what the operating system is, your macros are saved, your custom lighting is saved, all of that. Awesome. However, you have to do everything on the keyboard. And so if you go through this manual, you have to either memorize 20 pages of combination keys or just have the manual with you or just download the manual from the internet. I choose the later option. And what's really nice with this being a 65% key layout is you can then modify what these keys do, for example, or what your arrow keys do, turn these into macro keys. That's a really nice thing to have because I really don't ever use page up or page down. I use delete in editing, but then I do have this little guy right here. Let me know if you want to see a review on it. So I don't really use the delete key either when editing. So I have all these rebound to different macros, which is really handy. Now let's get on further a little bit with the build quality. So it is a USB-C keyboard. It comes with a white 1.5 meter gold plated connector, but the entire build here is plastic. And it is actually pretty flexible, so the bottom especially flexes a lot. I saw other people's reviews who said the keyboard was a bit bent. Mine seems to be pretty straight, but there is heaps of flex in the bottom. It doesn't really show up when you're just using it normally, but once you add a wrist rest, like this one for example, and you have the wrist rest all the way up to here, and then you start like pushing it, you can like feel it rub on the wrist rest. So if you have a little bit of space in there, it doesn't really, you don't feel it, but just, for your information, there's a little bit of flex to the frame. The keyboard itself is fairly strong, and the only flex you're really getting is from my mouse pad. So that's great. I'm just gonna do a little bit of typing so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll talk about some more pros and cons. So let's actually get the finger positioning right. There we go. I have no idea how many typos that was because my keyboard isn't plugged in, but this is the sound with the standard keycap. So if I just do a little bit of a sound comparison, you can hear there's a bit of a sound difference, and that's just because of how it's mounted and the fact that this is a full-on plastic case. Moving around the back, there's a 4-position dip switch. The only one you're really going to use is the gaming mode, which disables the Windows key, and then there are also some flip-up feet, so you can flip them up all the way, flip them down, or use a middle setting. Now, this keyboard has a lot of pros and cons to it. And it's really something you buy because you really specifically want something like this. I think of Ducky keyboards as a bit of a gateway drug into the custom mechanical keyboard sort of world and hobby, in that they're really nice keyboards, but they don't come with any of the branding or marketing that you get with your average Razer keyboard or Corsair or whatever high-end keyboard. This is high-end, but in a better way almost. Like, this is a proper enthusiast keyboard, and it's a keyboard a lot of enthusiasts buy before they get into the really fancy bit. And so with that said, customizability is really important. So later in this video, I'll be swapping it out with this keycap set. And you can modify these, but the options are very limited, especially for the SF model. If you buy the Mini, which is a 60% layout, so it doesn't have any of this stuff, you can get different cases. With the SF, there aren't any custom cases available. So if you want an aluminium case to not have that flex that I was talking about, you have to get the SF Mecha, which looks gorgeous, by the way, but you can't just buy the case at a later date, which I think is a bit of a missed business opportunity. I think if Ducky were to sell 50, 60 euro aluminum cases for these, there would definitely be a market for it. And with all the keycaps off, this is our PCB. As you can see, everything is nice and white, and next to our Sherry MX Blue RGB switches, we do have stabilizers on any key that is slightly bigger than usual, except of course Tab and Caps Lock, because who the hell uses these anyway? The stabilizers are pretty good, but they can be a little bit rattly. You could of course go into lubing them if you are, into the whole customizing your keyboard thing. But standard, they're actually pretty good. And if you go with MX Blues, you're really not going to complain about a stabilizer that's a tiny little bit rattly. So let's get all the standard keycaps out. and replace them. And there we go. So I did make quite a few mistakes, but as you can see, we have some extras in this keycap set because this is of course the same set that you buy for full-size keyboards. So if you're wondering what you're missing out on by not going with a full-size keyboard, here you go. It did take me a while, but thanks to the pesky manual, I did find out how to just get white backlight. No, it doesn't flicker in real life. Yes, the colors are a little strange over here. Maybe I already broke the LEDs by swapping the keycaps because my god, they were tight. However, I'll probably run it without any backlight because the keycaps aren't shine through. So let's just give you guys a quick bit of typing. I'm gonna have to use a wrist rest because the keycaps are pretty tall and I like a low profile keyboard actually. So let's type something up here. Oh, something I noticed, there are no little bumps on your F and J, so wherever your hands are, you probably won't know. And no, there weren't any additional keys in here that actually do have those bumps on there. So that's something to keep in mind if you really rely on these. Of course, you can always just look down for a second. The texture on these is a little bit more slippery than the originals. But yeah, let's do a little typing test. There we go. I know my right pinky doesn't do much because it's useless. With the cutest keyboard in the world now finished, it is time for me to end this video, but first I want to do a quick recap. Who is this keyboard for? As I said, it is a bit of a gateway drug into the custom keyboard hobby. So if that's something you want to get into and you want to have an aluminium case later, get the Mecha version. I cannot stress that enough. However, if you either don't want to spend extra money on the aluminium version, or if you think plastic is good enough for you, which it is for me at the moment, then by all means get one of these. Now, they're not cheap, but they are really good. So 120 euros for the keyboard and 60 for the keycap set that I have on here. 60 euros for some plastic may seem really expensive to you guys, but then you can also buy GMK keycaps for at least twice that. So they're not really that expensive when you think about it that way, and they are pretty good quality, although they are maybe a little bit thin. About software then, or the lack thereof, it's definitely a bit of a mixed one. Some people are going to love it, some people, including me, are going to be slightly disappointed that you can't just easily create a macro or a layout on your PC, flash it to the keyboard and be done with it. That would really be a nice option, and Ducky is doing it on some of their keyboards now. So hopefully it'll come to the One SF in the future, but I can't promise anything, and Ducky's not promising anything either as far as I know. So before my lip absolutely rips open in this super cold, super dry winter weather, I'm going to shut up and thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and click the bell and the subscribe button, and I'll also put an affiliate link in the description so when you buy one I get money. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.